Welcome to the NXT Ring of Honor News Central for the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network. This is the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast with your host, Lewis Carlin.
Hello and welcome to the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast, the Ring of Honor NXT version. I am your host, Lewis Carlin, and we had so much fun last week. He's back this week from Kayfabe today. Please help me welcome my good pal, Luke Dorsch. Luke, how you doing this week?
I am tippy-top and glad to be here once again. I couldn't stay away.
I'm glad you couldn't stay away because, like I said, we had so much fun last week. I had to bring it back and had a blast. So we have a lot to talk about. We had NXT and Ring of Honor had its Women of Honor show. Both of them were very good. What'd you think? What'd you think of the shows this week?
Well, I just rewatched NXT again just to refresh my memory earlier this evening. Okay. And it was a pretty solid show. It wasn't one of the best of, it wasn't one of their best shows, but it was good. For what they were trying to do, it was fine. It was fine.
Sure. So before we get into wrestling, how's your week going? I know you're getting ready for the big UFC fights, and I know you had mentioned that you think John Jones is going to win. But besides that, like, how's your week going in general this week?
Pretty good. I got a sort of a promotion at my job, my real life job,
right.
Which, a tiny bit more money, way more responsibility. In a more personal note, my son's mother moved back into my house for the first time in many years, so that is a new thing too.
Okay.
That seems to be going pretty well. It's fun. But yeah, so far so good. This week wasn't bad.
Yeah, well, as I was saying before we started, I worked about 65 hours this week, and I drive a truck, and a lot of truck driving, and I deal with customers as well. So I'm a little tired. So to everyone out there who's listening, if I sound tired, it's because I worked 65 hours this week, and I do apologize. But what can you do? You got to pay the bills somehow. And well, congratulations on the promotion, by the way, and getting paid. Every little bit helps. If you get a little bit more, every little bit helps. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, sir.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So what do you want to start with? Do you want to start with NXT, or do you want to start with Women of Honor?
Let's start with NXT.
Okay, NXT. We had the big Kassius Ohno Hideo Itami match. Well, we finally saw the full-fledged heel turn from Hideo Itami. I thought it was a good match. It wasn't a great match, but I guess the main purpose of it was to get that full-fledged heel turn from Hideo Itami. So what'd you think? What'd you think of the match? Did you like the match, or how did you feel about it?
I like the match. I think Itami's style works better as a heel in NXT. I know what Kassius Ohno can do in the ring. I've been following him for for a long time. Before he was even Chris Hero. So I've been following him for a long time. I've been a huge fan. I've always thought that Kassius Ohno is one of the greatest talents wrestling in the world today. He's just phenomenal. There's not too many guys that can switch up the styles. He can do lucha. He can do strong style. He can wrestle WWE style. He can do it all. He's just a great, great, great worker. I think they held back a little bit for what they can actually do, both of them, Itami and Kassius Ohno. You said it was more or less for the full-fledged heel turn by Itami to hopefully set up a match at TakeOver, which seems like the next logical step, But for what the match was supposed to be, I thought it was okay. I know they can do more, but it was good.
No, yeah, I agree. It's like I said, it wasn't a great match, but the main purpose was for Itami to turn full-fledged heel. And I know you mentioned Kassius Ohno, that you liked him before he was even Chris Hero. He now I don't want to offend anybody here, but he used to go by the wife beater. That's
that
correct.
Is absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's correct.
Yes, he used to be the wife beater. Again, I don't want to offend anybody there. I don't. Wife beaters is something totally against, of course, but that he used to go by that, and he was Chris Hero, and he did gain a hell of a lot of weight though, and I guess that's why he's wearing that. I guess you can almost call it a silly basketball jersey type ring attire, just I guess to hide the weight that he's gained, because he used to be a nice slim, but he gained a lot of weight even before he came into NXT. So do you think gaining the weight kind of toned his game down a little bit, or do you think he's still just as good as he was before he gained that weight?
He's just as good. It's just different. For example, I can cite a specific match that I love. Daniel Bryan's last match in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, when Chris Hero was their champion. He still worked a different style. This would have been maybe 2007, maybe, or 2008. I would say 2000, maybe 2009. I can't exactly recall the year it was, but it was. Okay, as I was saying, more or less, my point is Chris here, Kassius Ohno, he changed his style a little bit. He did gain weight. I can't remember. He had a medical condition. I don't know if it was a thyroid condition, but because of his weight gain, he did change his style, but I don't think that it's lacking in any areas. The style that he uses now, it works. He focuses a lot on his striking, his discus elbows, his wheelbarrow kicks, and stuff like that. But his style still works, and I still think he's still phenomenal.
No, I agree. I still think he's phenomenal as well. I remember when he was Kassius Ohno previously in his first run in NXT, and then he left, and I hadn't seen him for a while, and then I said, let me see how Chris Hero was doing, and then I saw, wow, he's gained a hell of a lot of weight, and but you're right, I don't think it's really affected him at all. I think he's still phenomenal in the ring. He still has those roaring elbows, and so he's still terrific in the ring. So, do you think we're going to get? I shouldn't say. Do you think? I mean, we both. I'm sure we both know we're going to get that big payoff match probably at Takeover Brooklyn between the two. Do you think it's going to be like a gimmick match, like a last man standing, or a kendo stick match or something, or what kind of match do you think they're going to have at Takeover Brooklyn?
Probably a regular match, but if they did put a stipulation in, I think the one that would best showcase that both of them would be a 2 out of 3 falls. I was actually thinking the same thing about Ember Moon and Asuka, but more on that later. But I think they'll maybe keep it the same way. It may be a no DQ since he was because of the finish, which I'm sure we'll go over. But I don't see like a crazy stipulation, maybe a no DQ match, but you know.
Okay, yeah, there you go. It's probably right because he got kicked with a low blow and by Tommy, so I could see it as a no disqualification match. That would make a lot of sense. What did you think of Drew McIntyre and his promo? I thought it was I thought it was a good, intense promo, crowd pleasing promo as well. What did you think? What did you think about it?
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to use the exact same words. Crowd pleasing. Got the crowd good and pumped. It was a very spirited promo. And I think it was what he needed. He needed to get in there and speak a little bit. Cut a good babyface promo, putting over the brand is what he did. And basically, put down Bobby Roode for his attitude and thinking he's more elite than the rest of the talent and how everyone's on the same side and no one walks above no one else, but except Bobby Roode. No, I really liked it. It got the crowd really, really pumped. He got over with the interview, or the promo rather. No, it was good. Plus, McIntyre, he cuts a good promo anyway. He just does. I mean, he's just good all around. He doesn't have a flaw anywhere.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you noticed though, but when he was pointing to the crowd and he was saying that it's that guy's NXT and it's that kid's NXT and it's all of your NXT, some lady stood up to cheer and she's wearing a Villain Club shirt, a Marty Scurll shirt. I don't know if you noticed that. So I guess it's Marty. You saw that too, right?
I did.
You did, yeah. So I guess it's Marty Scurll's NXT as well. So, I thought that was interesting that they didn't, cut that out. That that they had a fan there standing up with a Villain Club T-shirt. I thought that was
They also had a very well placed FTR sign in the audience too.
I did not see that. I'm going to have to watch it again now. Was it when he was pointing? Was it before or after the Villain Club shirt lady stood up?
I don't think they showed the sign during Drew McIntyre's promo. I think it was during the intro when they were doing the panning the crowd shot at the start of the show. There was someone pretty close to the front row with a nice FTR sign, just FTR.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look for that now. All right, just in case anybody out there doesn't know what FTR is, you want to just let them know what FTR is?
We'll keep it family friendly. It means F the Revival.
Okay. That's true. We'll keep. You're right. I'm sorry. We'll keep it. See, like I said, I'm tired. I'm not thinking, so we'll keep it family friendly. We won't say what it is on the air. But if you feel like popping off an F-bomb here or there, just feel free. It's okay. It's okay. Well, Nick knows all about it.
Well, that's good.
Nick knows
that's
all
good
about
for me because
that.
I got a great potty mouth.
Okay, and Nick knows all about that, so he always puts warning may contain graphic language. So if you want to say the word fuck, say the word fuck. It's okay. See, I just said it twice.
Fuck the Revival.
Yeah, I agree. Fuck the Revival. That's a Young Bucks are number one, baby. But we'll get into we're not going to get into Ring of Honor. It was Women of Honor, but still Young Bucks against the Revival. Just curious, how do you think that match would play out?
A friend of mine and I watched Arn and Tully versus the Rockers, the Brainbusters versus the Rockers from 1989. It's up on the WWE Network.
Sure.
I think it would go a little bit like that, but with a little bit more of the Young Bucks signature flair. I think it would blow everyone's mind. I don't think it's a match that we're going to see maybe ever, but definitely not no time soon. But man, it would sure be something. They would sell a lot of tickets.
Oh yeah, that's definitely would be an absolutely tremendous match. I'm pro Young Bucks, so I would say Young Bucks would go over there. But if I was the booker, I should say I would put the Young Bucks over on that one. Definitely my favorite tag team. But that would be a tremendous match, Young Bucks against the Revival. But as you said, fuck the Revival. But anyway, so where do we go from there? What did you think about the Ember Moon squash match? Which I was a little surprised because I know Lady Topper is she's a decent wrestler, but and she's this big monster, but it was kind of a squash match. I was a little surprised to see that.
It was a squash match. Lady Topper came out looking fierce in the beginning, attacking Ember Moon when the match started, doing some nice offense. But Ember came back pretty strong, took over control of the ring, and Ember's looking solid. I really can't say nothing really bad about Ember Moon. I think she's is a good talent. I mean, she's got the look, she's got the music, she's got the presence. She can work in the ring, which is always helpful. I can't say nothing bad about Ember Moon. And like we said last week, I think it is definitely her time. If there was a 2 out of 3 fall match, I think it would be that match. But it's probably too late for them to add that stipulation. Asuka went over clean in their last match. Ember Moon's good. I liked the match. I really, really liked the reverse suplex spot from the corner. I don't think I've ever even seen that before. I really liked it. It was a really nice little move. It was cool.
Yeah, good match, but again, I was a little surprised that it was a squash match, especially with Lady Topper. I mean, if they had brought somebody else in and had a little squash match, but Lady Topper is this monster, and she came out like a ball of fire, and I thought, wow, this is going to be a pretty intense match, but then it just wound up being a squash match to put Ember Moon over, and I guess just so she could have that in-ring promo and call out Asuka and saying that she's ready to defeat the undefeated, and she wanted to know if Asuka's ready for her. But yeah, so I agree. She's definitely terrific in-ring work for Ember Moon, and it's going to be a tremendous match between the two. I got to go with Ember Moon. I think Ember Moon's going to take the title. I think we touched upon this last week as well, but I think Ember Moon's going to take the title, and I think Asuka's going up to the main roster. I think you shared my opinion on that last week as well.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I don't know if she'll make it to the main roster. I hope so. I hope she would get up there and have a chance to shine. I think, so much of the main roster work is based on, what you can, like promos and things of that nature, which I kind of feel that's why Nakamura hasn't really, stood out from the crowd on SmackDown, which Asuka can speak English and everything, but I just don't know if they would utilize her properly. I hope they would if she would go to the main roster, but regardless, she's had a very, very lengthy title reign. She's looked, completely unstoppable. She's never taken a loss. And if there is a woman to beat her, it's got to be Ember Moon now. It just has to be. I guess they could keep the belt on her longer, but I don't really see the point right now, but whatever.
No, I think it's going to be Ember Moon's time to win the title, and I think it's definitely going to happen at TakeOver Brooklyn. Did you notice when she came walking out, she smiled and she had the glowing teeth? Or was that just something?
I did.
That
looked new.
Yeah, I thought she was trying to be like Naomi Light or something with the glowing teeth, because I know Naomi comes out and she's all glowing and everything, but it is. I don't really watch it. That's Naomi who comes out with the glowing shoes and everything, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't really watch WWE
watch
that much, so I don't really watch WWE that much. But so she just had the glowing teeth, and I thought that was a little odd, just coming out with glowing teeth. But anyway, I guess the last few weeks have been, we've had Joey Diego with the beef, and then we had El Hijo del Fantasma wearing Club Chocolate shorts last week, and now we got glowing teeth from Ember Moon. So there's got a little bit of comedy thrown in every week, each and every week, and I think it's, I thought it was funny. I started laughing. I don't know how you felt about the glowing teeth, but I thought it was a little humorous. She's smiling and she's got glowing teeth.
Then they glowed orange too, like
the
fire bit she's got going, So that I thought that I did notice it, absolutely. Yeah, I guess that you couldn't help but notice it. Yeah, it was definitely funny.
Yeah, I just thought it was a little humorous. So anyway, I wonder if that's going to be her new thing now, coming out with glowing teeth. But it's a good gimmick there. I could see her sitting down with Triple H going, I need something new. And Triple H, well, why don't you have glowing teeth? So
let's give you red contacts and glowing orange teeth.
Yeah, and glowing teeth. Red contacts and glowing teeth.
That's where we're gonna go.
And you can moonwalk. You can moonwalk to the ring. That'll be your gimmick. And we got blue pants is gone, so we'll give you blue pants too. So,
blue pants. Yeah.
Remember blue pants? What?
Yeah.
She got over for a bit and then she just disappeared. And I think Leva Bates, I think, is her name now. He's going by, right? Leva Bates or Leva Bates? Yeah.
Yeah.
So good stuff there, man. And then we had
Emma's first gimmick.
I'm sorry?
Better than Emma's first gimmick.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
With the bubbles and was it Emma with the bubbles, and was that her?
I think that was Emma with the bubbles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, where do they come up with these gimmicks, man? It's just like with bubbles and again, Diego yelling beef, and it's I don't know.
I like that.
The beef, just beef. I want to see him again. I want to hear, because I know you don't see him much on Ring of Honor TV, but I just hope they have him on again soon. I just want to hear him suplex somebody and just look in the camera and just go beef. and then we could have Ember Moon come out and smile with her glowing teeth. Not on ROH, of course, but with NXT.
Right.
And then we had.
What are your? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You first.
I was going to ask your opinion on Mauro Ranallo's addition to the NXT commentary team.
I've always been a Ranallo fan, Mauro Ranallo. I mean, back when he used to call New Japan Wrestling, he's phenomenal. He's fantastic. I'm surprised that it didn't work out for him in SmackDown. A lot of stories on reasoning why, but he's terrific. He's fantastic. I love him. Makes every match so much better when you have somebody who can announce like that. The matches just are that much better. How about you? How do you feel about Ranallo?
Oh, I'm a huge mark for Mauro. I I've been a fan of Morrow. I mean, even before he did Pride, he was for my first experience with him was with the UFC. He called some UFC matches in the pre-Joe Rogan days, which was my first experience with Morrow. I was a real huge fan of Pride when Pride was on, and him and Bas Rutten on Pride was one of the most legendary commentary teams in, combat sports. And then when I heard last year he was coming to the WWE, I just thought that was, the shoe fit. And I know how much of a fan he is of pro wrestling. He's very, very knowledgeable. He's up on everything. He's just very, very knowledgeable in all combat sports. He's working the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight. He works Bellator now. He's doing NXT tapings. He's still doing Showtime Championship boxing. He's a very busy man, and nothing but good stuff to say about Mauro Ranallo. Nigel McGuinness, too. I'm also very glad Nigel McGuinness is there. At first, I was a little upset about him leaving Ring of Honor, but I know he was trying to get in the WWE for a long time, and it's unfortunate he never could make it in as on-screen talent in the ring. But he's done such a good job in Ring of Honor the past couple of years, being I guess the commissioner or the matchmaker they called him, and he would do commentary with Carino and Kevin Kelly. I've always liked Nigel. So Nigel McGuinness and Morrow together is just great.
No, I agree. And how do you feel about Percy Watson in there as well? You think yeah, me too. I know. I feel the same way. They could really do without him. They could just go with just Ranallo and McGuinness, and I think they would be fine. I think Watson jumps in, every 7.5 minutes and says something, and doesn't really add anything to it. But I think if it was just Ranallo and McGuinness, I think they would be just fine.
Absolutely, them two could carry it easily.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I think I cut you off. Were you not a fan of Watson, or were you a fan of Watson? I'm sorry. I kind of assumed you're not a fan, but
No, not too much of a fan. Sometimes there's a little bit of comedy relief in there, but he's not bringing nothing to the table that no one else could bring. I know he was a former wrestler, and I guess he must be well liked in NXT, so he's got the job. That's good for him. I'm happy for him and everything. As a fan, Nigel McGuinness and Mauro Ranallo can hold that down completely.
Absolutely, and could happen. You never know. They're basically doing it by themselves right now. Like I said, every 7.5, 8 minutes, Percy Watson will say something. But definitely, I think Ranallo and McGuinness could definitely hold their own by themselves. Now we had Velveteen Dream against Cesar Bernani.
Oh yes, my boy.
What'd you think? What do you think of the Velveteen Dream? I'm a fan of his, but I'd like to hear your thoughts.
No, I met him. He trained here in Maryland at Maryland Championship Wrestling. He's one of the graduates from their training school, one of the more well-known graduates, along with Leo Rush as well. But no, Velveteen Dream. I remember I've seen him work in little shows here in Maryland for MCW, and he was a cool guy, and I'm glad he got the opportunity. I think the Prince gimmick is funny. He's a work in progress. He has some. He's got that sports entertainer type flair to him, and I think he could actually get over in NXT and the WWE. He's big, he's tall, he's strong. He kind of hits hard. He's got that whole Prince thing he does. So it's good. It's cool. It might put some people off, but it doesn't bother me at all. Like I've been familiar with him for a while, so no, I'm all about him. I think it works. If you can make a silly gimmick work for you and make it your own, then that's like success right there. There's not too many. There's been a lot of crazy, stupid gimmicks given to a lot of talented wrestlers, and they couldn't make them work. He can make this work.
Well, I agree 100% there. I'm a big fan of the Velveteen Dream. Patrick Clark, who's his name in real life, he's 100% into that character. You could just tell when he's in that character, he's all in, and that's what makes, in my opinion, that's what I feel is making it work, because he's all into the character 100%.
He is.
When he's that character, he's a Velveteen Dream. Cutting the promos, the heel promos that he doesn't want to give. He doesn't want to give an interview to the ugly NXT universe. He's very, very athletic. He's got that great elbow drop, which, by the way, I think somebody better tell Okada that his finishing move is the same name as the Velveteen Dreams, the Rainmaker, the Purple Rainmaker. But maybe we could have Okada versus Velveteen Dream, and the winner gets to use the finishing name, the Rainmaker. But I thought that was interesting that he calls his finishing move the Purple Rainmaker.
Yeah, that's a nice little jab at New Japan, I guess. It's fun.
The purple.
I tell you who I'm a fan of, Cesar Bononi. I really like that guy. I think that he has got some serious potential. If he doesn't make it NXT, if he still wants to keep into pro wrestling, this guy can make it on the indies. He can make it internationally. Hopefully he can stay in the WWE and get something going. But I think he's got all the potential in the world. I think he's a great talent.
No,
in the ring anyway. In the ring.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that he's won one match too. He stole the victory from Almas 2 months ago.
Right.
But
right.
it definitely, I agree. The guy definitely has some potential there. I definitely could see him, getting a major push, not right away, but down the line.
Sure.
But with back to Velveteen Dream for a second, all his matches have been his televised matches anyway have been kind of short, and I've heard that he's had some really, really good, live matches that have gone like 10, 15 minutes that have been phenomenal. So I would love to see a match with him on TV that goes a little longer than 2 minutes, because normally they're 2 minutes long, and see what he's really made out of. Because I think, like I said, I think he's really athletic. I was kind of hoping maybe this match would have gone a little longer. I think it was like 2 minutes, 20 seconds, and the match ended.
Oh yeah, it was super.
But yeah, but I've heard he's had some tremendous live matches. So there's a lot of great potential there in the Velveteen Dream, and also Cesar Bononi as well. So it could be two, who knows, maybe next year at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, we could be seeing the Velveteen Dream taking on Cesar Bononi for the NXT World title. You never know. You never know.
You never know.
That's right, man. You never know. You never know. It could happen. I thought Almas was going to jump in here and attack Bononi, but as we know, I was wrong. I predicted, they're showing I think they showed Bononi winning 2 months ago again, and against Almas. I thought Almas was going to run in and attack him, and I thought no way Jose was going to come out, but as we saw, that didn't happen. But we did have the little, I guess, parking lot verbal confrontation between, and they're calling her Selena Vega now, and No Way Jose. So what do you think about that feud? I think Selena said Jose lit a fire under Almas that you can't dance around, and that was basically, what did you think of that? Do you think, are you looking forward to No Way Jose against Almas, or how do you feel about that potential match, which is probably going to happen at TakeOver Brooklyn?
I was saying last week how much of a fan I am of Almas. I really am. I'm a huge fan of his. I just wanted them to do something with him. No Way Jose. I think his song's catchy. I hate to say it, it's catchy. When he gets in the ring, he's not bad. He's got some stuff going for him. I'm not totally feeling that character, but I think the match should be solid. I think it'll be a decent little match. Almas is a full-fledged heel with a female valet. I'm down with that. I think it'll be fun to watch. I think Almas should go over. He needs to be pushed. He's just too good not to be.
So,
if there was a confrontation, I thought that they would maybe do the parking lot, maybe a parking lot mugging type thing. They, sure. I don't know if you remember, they did that before in NXT. But yeah, I kind of thought if they were going to do it, it would be then. But no, the interaction was cool. It's going to set up the match down the line, probably a TakeOver Brooklyn. I'm a big fan of Almas, and I'm just glad that they're using him at all, really.
Yeah, no, me too. I love Almas. He's got a lot of upside, a lot of potential there. But back to No Way Jose. You mentioned that he has a catchy tune. When his entrance music starts playing, are you up like I am dancing along with him, or you just sit there and watch? Because I'm up, I'm dancing like I'm dancing all around the living room when he comes out.
I have yet to see Noe Jose live, but I definitely got a little nod thing. I haven't jumped up and danced to it yet, though. I haven't jumped up and danced to Noe Jose's song.
No, I'm up on the couch and I'm doing the whole No Way Jose, and I'm singing along with him.
If I was there live with like a beer or two in me, you better believe. Bet your sweet ass I'm dancing Noe Jose's song.
That's right, man. As soon as he comes on, and
guilty pleasure.
I don't care who sees me. He comes on. I'm dancing. I'm on the cable. I'm on the couch. Wherever I have to be, I'm dancing along with No Way Jose. I love the guy. I love the song, man. So I think we covered. Oh no, we didn't. There was the Authors of Pain, and the.
That's right.
They were supposed to take on the legendary team of David Ramos and Timothy Bumpers.
Yes, Timothy Bumpers. I don't know.
I love that name, Timothy Bumpers. But that match never happened, unfortunately. I was really looking forward to that match, and I know it was going to be a classic, a 5-star classic.
Right.
As we saw, Sanity came out. Nikki Cross blocked him, so they couldn't come to the ring, and we had the big brawl, and Authors of Pain got the better of them. The Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf. Do they have any chance at all of winning the titles at Takeover Brooklyn, or is it going to just be?
I don't see that happening at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe unless Eric Young comes back, and they steal a victory somehow. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if they did, because I know Killian Dane is a great talent, and I know they want to push him a little bit. But I don't. Again, I couldn't see Authors of Pain losing unless I know there's this whole major shakeup that I'm reading again that's going to take place with the SmackDown and Raw roster, and I don't know if they want to bring up Authors of Pain because they would have a shot at making it on the main roster, but I don't know. I couldn't see them losing the titles to Sanity. But like I said, you never know. You never know. Have you heard about this shakeup again? It seems like every month and a half they're having another talent shakeup on SmackDown and Raw. It's almost like they're in panic mode right now.
Yeah, I did know about it. I wrote on it this week, actually. And the most interesting part was that this, as Meltzer was saying, that main roster talent, it could be moved back to NXT with this next shakeup, which is the most interesting part of it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So they're basically it's for like NXT talent and other talent that's been that they're using but not using, being put back. I don't want to say back down to NXT because it's not. They're not on like cable television like Raw and SmackDown. But it's. I wouldn't see it as a major demotion. I just wouldn't see it that way. But yeah, there's certain people that they don't utilize properly, that don't get no airtime, that just don't have any chance to do anything on television. Maybe they would have a better chance in NXT to get more in-ring action, get more televised in-ring action instead of just doing live events and whatnot. Maybe cut some promos. It might be beneficial to some guys, and I think that could be very interesting. And not only that, when they did the Superstar Shakeup in the spring after WrestleMania, a couple of the moves were very logical, but then others it just didn't seem to make sense. Like moving The Miz and moving Dean Ambrose over to Raw, I didn't really see the logic in that. And I mean, Kevin Owens going to SmackDown, that fits. I mean, he may even fit in better there, considering the roster they have. But it's always fun. Maybe it's a little too soon. Maybe it's not. Didn't they do it last year too, around this time, or after SummerSlam, or right before SummerSlam? Finn Balor was moved up.
Oh yeah,
and so maybe it'll be a big thing. Maybe not. I don't know.
I guess we'll find out soon enough. I wonder who they would send back down, though. I'm thinking, I guess, is the Ascension still in the WWE, or have they been released yet, or are they still in the? Because I know they were killing it. They were killing it in NXT before they went up and got totally buried in the main roster, and maybe they could benefit from a move back to NXT. But like, who else do you think they would?
I don't follow SmackDown, but I think that they had something to do with the Breezango gimmick. I think that they were involved with that, and I think they might be feuding with Tyler Breeze and Fandango on SmackDown. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they got that going on. I don't know. That's the best part about SmackDown lately is the Breezango gimmicks. From what I hear, I watch them on the internet.
Okay, yeah, and I saw a little bit. I saw a little bit of that gimmick, and I kind of like Tyler Breeze. Before he got into this gimmick, I loved him in NXT. I loved the whole cell phone thing that he had going. But I thought he was terrific. I saw him as in this Breezango gimmick, and I not a great fan of it. But again, I don't really watch that much SmackDown or Raw, and I apologize to the WWE fans out there, but I don't really watch it that much. I'm not really a big fan of it these days.
Likewise.
I'm sorry?
Likewise.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm not doing a WWE show. NXT, Ring of Honor, and the other one, Global Force Wrestling. I couldn't do I can't sit there for 5 hours. 3 hours on a Monday and 2 hours on the Tuesday. I can't do it, man. Can't do it. Anyway, so I think we got everything covered. Did we miss anything, or did we get everything?
I think we got everything. The only other thing I could even possibly mention, I believe Johnny Gargano is coming back next week.
Oh, that's
going
right.
Up against
that's right.
Raul Mendoza. They mentioned that. Bobby Roode's going to come out next week and reply to Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre's little promo that he cut. I guess Bobby Roode's going to retort. But yeah, I think that's it. I think Itami and Kassius Ohno are going to do a rematch. I think they're setting up the Sanity AOP match for TakeOver. Ember Moon and Asuka. Yeah, I think that's it.
I think they mentioned Asuka's coming back next week.
Yes.
She's gonna, I guess, respond to Ember Moon, and I guess you could expect Ember Moon to come out and most likely have a face-to-face confrontation between the two, which could be pretty exciting. So I guess we're done with NXT. So before we go into Women of Honor, it's plug time. So if you want to plug anything, go right ahead and plug anything you want, and then I'll do a few plugs and get into Women of Honor, and then we'll wrap it up.
I actually had to think about this. There is one thing I want to plug besides kayfabetoday.com. If you want to get wrestling news, check out kayfabetoday.com. One other thing I want to plug is Maryland Championship Wrestling. My local independent promotion here in Maryland. They've turned out some top-level talent, and it's definitely something to look into. You can Google it. You can follow them on Twitter at MCW Wrestling. If you're a fan of Leo Rush or the Velveteen Dream or many others, they just had a show last month that was fantastic, and they're going to have another one coming up real soon. Goldberg's going to be there, and it'll be a lot of fun. Check out Maryland Championship Wrestling.
All right, there you go. Speaking of kayfabe today, I read your article, your weekend review, the weekly professional wrestling review. Not review. It was the review of the weekend professional wrestling. Great article, man. Great stuff. Keep up. You do phenomenal work, man. So I just keep up the tremendous work for Kayfabe Today. If you want to see some great articles, as Luke was saying, definitely go to Kayfabe Today. Luke writes some tremendous articles, and there was their entire staff. Their entire staff is absolutely fantastic. I should think you mentioned last week that Kayfabe Today probably covers more professional wrestling than any other website. And I agree. Just great website. Check them out, kayfabetoday.com. Anything else you want to plug before I begin my plugs?
No, please go ahead, sir.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. So as I said, this is the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. We are part of the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network. If you want to send us an email, you go to tappedoutwrestlingpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter @tappedoutpod. Follow me on Twitter @PWSOTH. You can follow the podcast on Twitter @PWPersonified. Go to tappedoutwrestlingpodcast.com. There are some tremendous tremendous podcasts on there. I recently did 2 interviews, one with Steve Wilson, the man behind Congo Kong, Global Force Wrestling superstar, and former WWF wrestler Jose Luis Rivera. I interviewed him as well, and they're both on there right now. And my man Nick recently interviewed Wildfire Tommy Rich, the legendary Wildfire Tommy Rich, so you can check out that interview as well. Nick did a great job on that one. TappedOutWrestlingPodcast.com. If you have iTunes, Google Play, you can subscribe and I'll get all the podcasts, never miss one. There's the Fight app. If you're a professional wrestling fan or an MMA fan, you gotta get the Fight app. And if you want a t-shirt, Pro Wrestling Tees. That's ProWrestlingTees.com. And once again, for tremendous professional wrestling content, go to kayfabetoday.com. Just look for Luke's articles. Look for anybody's articles on there. They're fantastic. Great stuff. All right, so we had Ring of Honor had its Women of Honor show this week, and as you were saying, unfortunately you weren't able to watch the whole show, but that's cool. I'll cover the main event, which was the best match of the night of the show, by the way. So we could start. I guess we could go in order. We had Sumi Sakai versus Chris Wolf. I love Chris Wolf. I thought it was a solid match between the two. I will say it's the first time I've really seen Chris Wolf, and like I said, I loved her. I think she was fantastic. Had good action. I felt it could have gone either way. Both worked really hard. Chris Wolf did get the victory. So, and I know you mentioned last week, I think you mentioned that you were a fan of Chris Wolf as well last week. So what did you think of that opening match?
Oh, yes, the Stardom High Speed Champion. Yeah. Chris Wolf is a lot of fun. I can't get enough of her. I can't get a lot of Stardom, but when I catch it, I like to catch it. It's one of those promotions like DDT that you really got to look out for. But if you look out for it, you really can't be disappointed. I like the match. Sumi Sakai is always fun to watch. I've seen her live, I think, twice now, maybe 3 times. But yeah, Sumi Sakai is great. I really enjoyed the match. I thought it was solid. I really couldn't say nothing bad about it. I liked it. Chris Wolf went over, like you said. It was a back-and-forth match, real close match. It seemed very legit. I hope Chris Wolf gets a chance to come back in Ring of Honor and maybe work stateside a little bit more. And working with Sumi Sakai seemed like it was a logical choice. They had a similar type style together. And the crowd was into her. I seen a lot of people in the crowd seem to know who Chris Wolf was, and that was very reassuring too. I was hoping that she wouldn't get like a dead crowd reaction because no one knew who she was or was unfamiliar with the promotion that she's from or the championship she carries. But no, there was fans that were very familiar with her. You could tell it on television. I liked it. It was a good match. Yeah,
I also like Sumi Sakai as well. She's another, she's a veteran, I guess you could say, of Ring of Honor. She's been around for a while, I guess, since the beginning of Women of Honor. But she's tremendous as well. And she's, I don't know, when you see, I don't know if anyone else gets this feeling, but initially when you see her, she doesn't seem like she's a great talent, but she really is. I can't describe why I feel that way, but when you initially see her, she doesn't appear to be, this tremendous talent, but she's an excellent talent, and I don't know if that makes any sense or to you at all, but just the feeling I was getting when I first initially saw her some time ago, I was like, it doesn't look like she's, that good of a talent, but I was 100% wrong.
No, I know exactly what you mean. I know what you mean. She has a clumsiness to her sometimes where it looks like she's there's a clumsiness there, but it works. It works. It's not like, I don't want to watch this. She's just horrible. No, it's nothing like that at all. Whatever she's got going, it works. It might be a little, you would need to watch her maybe once or twice to really get a feel for what she's doing in the ring, but
sure.
Nah, she's good, and she's been a part of Women of Honor since the beginning.
Yeah, no, like I said, great match, great opening match there. Then you had Silas Young and Beer City Bruiser coming out with the Jay Lethal sign, which I love, man. It's they interrupting the Women of Honor show with to indicate that Jay Lethal hasn't been seen on Ring of Honor TV now for 36 days because it's gone from 29 to 36 days, and I wonder how long. it's going to last for, because I know I think they're, well, at Queen City Excellence, which is happening actually tonight. I guess Jay Lethal is back. It's a TV taping too, so Jay Lethal is actually taking on the Beer City Bruiser in a no disqualification match. So I guess Queen City of Excellence is when he's officially coming back on TV. But I like these little spots, it's going to be sad to see it end. But I like these little spots with the little board when they keep, every week they mark off, he hasn't been seen. I guess next week will be, 43 days.
Right.
And then you have Silas Young.
What do you think about Silas Young?
I'm sorry?
What do you think about Silas Young?
Oh, I love Silas Young. He's I was speaking when I did the interview with Beer City Bruiser, and I think I mentioned you listened to it. He's a legitimate badass in real life. I mean, I'm a big fan. I think the Silas Young character that you see on TV is the Silas Young character that's in real life, because according to the Beer City Bruiser, they've gotten to him and Silas Young have gotten into a number of bar fights, and they've never lost a bar fight. He said Silas Young is a legitimate badass in real life, and he's a legitimate badass in the ring as well. But I'm a big fan. I love Silas. Excuse me. I love Silas Young. I love these little spots, and he's a great in-ring performer as well. And
absolutely.
Just has that.
He's
look
one of the most improved. I would say he's one of the most improved wrestlers. You go back a couple years ago, 2014 maybe till now, he stepped his game up quite a bit. When he what really opened my eyes is when they did the Honor Rising tour over in New Japan earlier this year. I can't remember the match off the top of my head that he worked, but it just blew me away the stuff he was doing in the ring. I was like, wow, I should really pay more attention to Silas Young, because he's really kicking it up a notch, and he has absolutely done that. All of his matches, his pay-per-view matches in Ring of Honor this year, his TV matches, he doesn't really never not deliver. He's just really, really solid. Love the character. Like you said, if I had to guess, I would say that probably is the real guy,
Yeah, no, that's what, Beer City, that's what the Bruiser told me. Like I said, they said him and Silas Young have gotten into a number of bar fights, and, he said they haven't lost, and I even told him, I said, look, because I want to get on Silas Young's good side. I said, tell Silas Young I'm a big fan. I want to stay on his good side, because I love to interview the guy one day. But I wonder like the audacity of someone to say, hey, that's Silas Young. I'm going to go start a fight with him. You gotta be an idiot to want to start a fight with Silas Young and the Beer City Bruiser in a bar. There's no way you're coming out of that, a winner. That's a definite, mark in the loss column for anyone who challenges Silas Young and Beer City Bruiser in a bar. And that doesn't make, I don't know. Would you, if you were in a bar, would you challenge Silas Young to a fight? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I don't know why some idiots would try to challenge these two. And according to Beer City Bruiser, there've been quite a few. So, but just you don't want to mess with that guy in real life. But anyway, I guess there was one other match, actually two other matches, but you had mentioned that you didn't get to see the main event. So I did not. I'll just run down that one quickly, and then we can talk about Jenny Rose and Mandy Leon, because it was that actually wasn't the best match I've ever seen in my life. But Kelly Klein, Karen Q, and Deonna Purrazzo, very, very, very solid match. From start to finish. Kelly Klein is an absolute beast, and I'm sure you'll agree with me on that. She proved in this ring, and she hit a double suplex on Karen Q and Deonna Purrazzo, which was really impressive. What do you think of Kelly Klein? Would you go as far as saying that she might even be the female Brock Lesnar?
She very well could be. Just her presence alone. I mean, she's got it down. She makes these great facial expressions and the way she moves her body. She looks like the baddest bitch in the room. Forgive my French, but she really does. When she's in the ring, she's definitely the baddest bitch in the room.
Of course.
I mean, she's even intimidating at the meet and greets that Ring of Honor do. She's literally, she is. Like, when you walk up to her, she's very intimidating. I mean, she's nice and she's sweet to the fans and all, but she has that presence to you, like, wow, this bitch is bad. You just see that.
Yeah, I've been talking with her because I'm actually going to get her on in late August. She seems to be really, really nice. We were talking on Facebook for a bit and trying to nail down a date. But I'm a little intimidated. I don't want to piss her off because she's like Silas Young. She's a legitimate badass. I want to just ask her really friendly questions because I don't want to even though she's on the phone and and I'm like, I could be like 2,000 miles away. I'm still intimidated, so I don't want to piss her off. So I'm going to ask her very, very friendly questions when she comes on. But she's definitely an absolute badass. She didn't win the match, unfortunately. Karen Q actually won the match. Karen Q actually rolled up Deonna Purrazzo for the victory. So Kelly Klein didn't actually lose, but she wasn't. I know she's been undefeated for a while. She didn't actually. I guess it's the first match where she's actually in the loss column. Actually, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She lost to Karen Q by countouts. I saw her on YouTube. I think this was about 2 months ago. So this is like second. It's not a legitimate loss. So she hasn't legitimately lost a match yet in Ring of Honor. I don't know. We'll see. I know she's taking on Purrazzo tonight at Queen City Excellence. So I'm looking forward to reading the results on that. So that should be a tremendous match. But again, before I say Kelly Klein is a beast again, what do you think of Purrazzo?
I like her. I like Purrazzo. She might be the if they're really trying to build the Women of Honor up proper, I think she would be the babyface to build it behind. But I mean, Kelly Klein seems to be the star. But I like Deonna Purrazzo. I seen her when they were here in Maryland the last time Ring of Honor came through in April. That was my first experience seeing her live, and I really liked her. I think she's got a little bit more to learn in the ring, but she definitely has it. She's getting better and better. I didn't see this match, but the last time I saw her was better than the time before that. So I just have to assume that she's better now than she was then, and it hopefully goes that way for her.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think she's has a lot of potential. I think she's the Mae Young Classic. She's not a participant, but I think she's an alternate, which is a little, surprising because I think she's more talented than some of the participants that they have in the Mae Young Classic. I almost said Mae West Classic. See, that's how tired I am. But the Mae West Classic, but the Mae Young Classic, she's an alternate, and I think Lady Tappa was also an alternate in the Mae. See, I almost said it again. In the Mae Young Classic. She definitely has a lot of potential, and I really like Karen Q as well. I don't know if you've seen her yet, but
I have not.
There was actually a pretty scary spot here. Klein and Purrazzo were on the outside, and she was going to do a drop kick through the ropes onto both of them, and she went to the rope, but she caught her chin on the middle rope, and her head snapped back. And she really could have gotten injured there, but she got really lucky, and she, thankfully she turned out okay. So that was a scary spot there, getting her. I remember what happened to Enzo Amore when he hit the ropes and he was knocked out, and they had to stop the match.
Oh, sure.
She got her chin caught on the middle rope, but she seemed to be okay because she hit a nice flying body press from the top turnbuckle onto Klein. On Klein, yeah. So she was okay, thankfully. She wound up winning the match. I don't know if you saw. Did you see the Shane Taylor attacking? I think it was Mikey Webb and destroying him before. I don't know who Mikey Webb is, but they showed a clip of Shane Taylor attacking. I guess enhancement talent Mikey Webb.
Yeah, that was the last thing I saw before I had to stop watching. That was the last thing I saw.
Sure.
Hey, Shane Taylor's been dropping the pounds off. He's been looking good. He looks like he must have dropped like 50 pounds just in a month or two. He looks really good. He was very, very big guy. He's a big guy. I don't know how many people are familiar with Shane Taylor, but he's a big guy. He was part of the Rebellion, which just recently disbanded. Shane Taylor, he's not bad. I even think he was trained by Raymond Rowe from War Machine.
Sure.
He's good. He's legit.
Are you outside right now? Because I hear crickets.
I'm close to the window.
Okay. That was one I thought maybe you're doing the podcast outside, but no, because I've been hearing crickets. But I don't know if it was just in my head or I taking my headphones. I thought there might have been a cricket in my basement, but I've been hearing crickets for the last 5 minutes. But okay, thanks for thanks for clearing that up for me. I thought I might have had a cricket problem in my basement or something, but no, yeah. But Shane Taylor, they're really building him up to be a monster, and I know he's it's him and Josh Woods at Queen City Excellence, and that has all the potential of being a phenomenal match. And you know, I don't like to I don't like to brag or anything, but I was talking to Josh Woods as well about the match that he's coming up, and I told him to go out and steal the show, and he said him and Shane will try. So hopefully they'll see if they'll steal the show, because I know it's potentially could be a very good match between the two. And so what do you think of that, Shane Taylor against Josh Woods?
I'm pretty high on Josh Woods. I really enjoyed the match he had with David Starr in Philadelphia. I was there for that live. I'm a huge fan of David Starr. I don't know why Ring of Honor hasn't signed that guy yet, but if they can, they need to. But back to Josh Woods. Josh Woods went over in that match. It was a fantastic match. Woods was just here in my town. I think I mentioned it last week, a couple weeks ago, for an MCW show. He was in a 2-night tournament. He didn't win. Oddly enough, Joey Mercury from the WWE won, but it doesn't matter. I like Josh Woods. I like the hybrid MMA pro wrestling style. Guys like Kyle O'Reilly and Matt Riddle and Tom Lawler, even Bobby Fish to an extent, guys that do this hybridization style between MMA and, submission grappling, and they incorporate that into the pro wrestling style. Some people say it's the way of the future. I don't know. I think if it works for you, then make it work. But from his background, he's a real deal, legitimate athlete. Josh Woods seemed like the logical choice to be the top prospect this year, and I think the match with Shane Taylor will be a great opportunity for him to work with someone bigger than him in a different style match than he's used to. I don't think he'll be able to do as much of his repertoire that he would normally do when Shane Taylor. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It should be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of really good matches that, and I'm glad it's a TV taping. There's a lot of really good matches that taking place at Queen City Excellence tonight. So, and like I said, I'm glad it's a TV taping. You have Cody, Page, Marty Scurll against Bully Ray and the Briscoes, Kushida defending against Kenny King, the Bucks against the Motor City Machine Guns, War Machine against Jonathan Gresham and Jay White, which that's a sleeper match right there. And Flip Gordon against Punishment Martinez, just to name a few matches. And these are all going to be taped for TV, and it's got a lot of quality ROH programming coming up in the next few months from these TV tapings for sure.
Absolutely.
I was just thinking, why don't we can you get one of the crickets on and ask them what they think of Punishment Martinez?
Punishment Martinez. Are you still hearing the crickets? I try to get away from the window.
No, it's okay. It's okay, man. I just thought maybe you could get one. I thought maybe we could get on some No Way Jose music, and maybe they'll start dancing to the music.
Punishment Martinez is all right. I like. It seems like they don't really know what to do with him right now. The first time he really stood out to me, once again, going back to the Honor Rising in New Japan, he went up against Hiroki Goto, and I think that was the first time he really stood out. Like, oh, this guy actually can do this. He can work. I wasn't really a fan of him coming in with B.J. Whitmer and Kevin Sullivan last year. Obviously, that didn't last long because, it just didn't. But the matches he's had with Jay White and some of the other matches he's had recently, he looks strong in the ring. I think he has a lot of potential for growth. They just need to figure out what they want to do with him, But yeah, sure. As an in-ring talent, they don't have a lot of big men, they just don't. So I think it'll be good for ROH to have him. I just hope they utilize him correctly.
Yeah, I agree. I'll have to agree. I actually wanted to hear what are the crickets, what they thought of Punishment Martinez, but I'm glad I got your take on him. So
they just say the same thing over and over again. At least I got some insight.
Yeah, it's true. You can never trust a cricket and their opinions anyway. So, and then you had the Jenny Rose versus Mandy Leon match. What did you think of that one? I thought it was okay, nothing special. I wasn't a big fan of the match, but I don't know. I think Mandy Leon could use a little more work. She seemed maybe a little bit sloppy at times, or a little slow, or I don't know. What was your take on the match?
I absolutely agree.
Okay.
The last time I saw her, I felt the same thing too. It wasn't the best match, the best women's match. There were some, I don't want to say missed opportunities or missed spots, but it just didn't have a good, like, flowing feel to it. You know, it looked like it was kind of choppy.
Yeah, one spot, Mandy Leon was she had, Jenny Rose was in a sitting position, and Leon, bounced off the rope. She was gonna go for, a big knee, I guess, to the chest, but she stopped, and she just gave a little tiny little tap of her knee onto the chest, which really didn't look good at all. Instead of coming, full force with the knee, and, she just stopped, kind of, and just gave a little tap, to Rose with the knee.
Yeah,
and I just,
yes.
didn't look good on camera, so they could definitely both use a little more work. Of course, Jenny Rose won with the electric chair drop, which I guess was okay, but wasn't my favorite match of the weekend. That's for sure.
It wasn't my favorite match of the weekend. No,
I mean, I would actually take a heavy machinery match over that match. Actually,
I think I would too. Unfortunately for them.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely. I would actually, what's that? Mikey Webb. They should have shown a Mikey Webb match or something. But, I guess, are there any other women wrestlers in Women of Honor, or, cause they could have shown a different match besides that one.
It seems like they have like 6 or 8 that they use. That they use frequently. I'm glad Chris Wolf's there. Hopefully she can work more shows in the States. I hope that happens. And I'm not too sure of how the Women of Honor system works, but a couple of them do need some more work. A couple of them don't. Kelly Klein is fantastic, and if they really want to build this as a viable thing, I think she's the one to build it behind. She's got the presence. She's got the look. She can work in the ring. She's not horrible on the mic. And she seems like a really decent person, So absolutely, I think if they were going to build this, I would build it around her.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm glad that they got a full episode on TV. That's very cool. I think it was only the second or maybe third time that the Women of Honor have had a full episode just with the women, which is very cool.
Oh, it was the third one. It's the third one that they've had. But yeah, I agree. Kelly Klein is an absolute monster. And if you're going to build around someone, actually you could build around a Klein-Perazzo feud, because they could,
sure.
They've had some really good one-on-one matches, between the two, but definitely Kelly Klein. I mean, if you're gonna crown a Women of Honor champion, definitely, I would make my first champion Kelly Klein, cause she's, like I said, she's an absolute badass beast. Like I said, you don't want to meet Silas Young and have a bar fight with him. I don't think you'd want to have a bar fight with Kelly Klein either.
I certainly would not. I've stood right next to her before, and like I said, she's very intimidating.
Yeah, no, she's especially with that the mouth guard that she wears.
Sure.
So. But absolutely. If they're going to build around someone, it's definitely Kelly Klein, and possibly this Karen Q has some very, very good potential as well. But I would definitely go with Kelly Klein if they're going to build around someone. But I think that's about it. And next week we got Cody Rhodes against Christopher Daniels. 2 out of 3 falls for the ROH title.
2 out of 3 falls, sure.
So I wonder if that's going to be the only match of the show, because usually that's a big match, and that match could last the entire show. I'm not sure, so we'll see now.
Easily.
So might be a short podcast next week if that's the only match on Ring of Honor TV. But who do you think? I think we both.
I'm pretty sure we're going to see Silas Young next week. I didn't read the spoilers or anything, but I just have a feeling we're going to see Silas Young back out with the sign at least one more time. So I think we'll see that. There might be one. I think there'll be 2 matches next week. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't want to get spoiled this time, so I don't know what'll happen.
Okay, well, we'll find out in 7 days, I guess, huh? We'll find out in 7 days. All right, if that was it, that's it. I think we covered everything. Let me just look over my notes. We got everything. Yeah, I think we got everything. So I guess that's it. So anything else on your mind you wanna talk about? We've been going on for over an hour now, which is fantastic, man. And I know you wanna. I know you got your UFC you want to get to. I know we talked about it earlier, but I guess you could tell everybody. I think we talked about it before we started the show, and if you want to tell everybody who you think is going to win the big UFC fight tonight.
Oh, there's not just one big UFC fight tonight. This whole pay-per-view card is stacked. You got Robbie Lawler and Donald Cerrone, which it's probably on now. Probably, I don't know. I'm not near there.
Okay.
You've got 3 championship matches. You got Chris Cyborg going up for the 145-pound title. You've got the welterweight title, Tyron Woodley defending against Damian Maia. And then in the main event, you got Johnny Bones Jones trying to get the strap back from Daniel Cormier. I'm from Baltimore.
Okay.
I'm Team John Jones all the way.
Okay, there you go. And one more question, Mayweather or McGregor?
Oh, I mean, who do I want to win, or what do I think is going to happen?
I want McGregor to win, and I think McGregor is going to knock out Mayweather. But what do you think?
If that's what happens, I will be a very happy individual. What I think, I'm not an expert when it comes to boxing by any stretch of the imagination. I think that Conor's going to confuse Floyd in the early rounds. Hopefully he doesn't gas himself out. I think Floyd will pick up rounds in the middle of the fight, and hopefully Conor has some gas left later on in the fight. It may not go that way. Conor may the distance may be tricky for Mayweather, and he might crack him, and then that's it. He might knock him out, and then he'll have that big one on his record, which is what I want to happen more than anything. Not only that, I mean, not only because I'm a fan, but to really legitimize and solidify MMA as the combat sport and not boxing. I mean, there's so many boxing purists out there who just discredit mixed martial arts, and that time has passed us now. Mixed martial arts is combat sports, and Conor McGregor beating Floyd Mayweather is a way to show that.
Okay. I think pro wrestling is the combat sport, but
sure.
Because I know unlike UFC, professional wrestling does not have a predetermined ending. So that's why I enjoy professional wrestling more than the UFC, because UFC has all these predetermined endings. So there's no excitement, no excitement there. But anyway, any last words? Anything else you want to talk about, or do you want to wrap this up? Or how do you feel?
Pretty good. Thanks for bringing me on again. Once again, check out kayfabetoday.com. Check out all of us. We got a great team there. And like I said before, we cover every single promotion that's worth a damn in the world of professional wrestling.
All right, awesome. And I am Lewis Carlin, and this is the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast, and we are part of the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network. I want to thank my guest host again this week from Kayfabe Today, Luke Dorsch, for joining me 2 weeks in a row. Again, had a blast, and anytime you want to come back, Luke, all you got to do is hit me up on Twitter, let me know, and you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you, sir. It's been my absolute pleasure. I had a great time once again.
Hey, the pleasure's been all mine, man. So again, Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast for the Tapped Out Podcast Network. I'm Lewis Carlin. Thanks a lot for joining us this week, and we will be back next week to talk more NXT and Ring of Honor action. And until then, take care, bye-bye, and stay safe, everybody.